Hi, I'm Bob Weir with another interview of People in the News in North Texas. My guest today is Highland Village resident Jack Wyman, who recently accepted the position of Vice President of Advancement at Freedom Foundation at Valley Forge. Thanks for being here, Jack.
Thank you, Bob. It's a pleasure to be here, and thank you for inviting me.
If you would please begin by providing an overview of Freedom Foundation.
Freedom's Foundation at Valley Forge was founded in 1949 by General Dwight D. Eisenhower and a group of businessmen that he had approached. One of them was E.F. Hutton. And they wanted to begin an organization that would help make the American people aware, especially young people, of the history and the heritage of this country and what patriotic citizenship really means. And I think that what was prompting that on the part of General Eisenhower was the fact that World War II had just ended. He had seen close up the situation in Germany and in Japan. He had seen what happens when countries forget their founding principles.
Yeah, he was Supreme Allied Commander.
Yes, he was, and he had seen that. He didn't want that to happen to America. So he had it in his heart and mind to begin this organization to keep the ideal of thoughtful citizenship and patriotic citizenship uppermost in the hearts and minds of the American people, because he felt that it was absolutely essential to the preservation of our democratic form of government.
Yeah, just understanding history, of course.
Yes.
Education history is so important.
Absolutely.
What is the role of the Vice President of Advancement?
Well, my job is to introduce people to the organization and to seek resources for it, and to seek people who would partner with us in this great cause of just elevating and informing and inspiring young people and adults about the history of our country and our form of government and our precious freedoms. And my role in the organization is to raise money to do that. And I'm excited about it because I believe that once people are aware of it, and those who are very supportive, very enthusiastic, because they realize that something is changing in this country and we need to recover.
Absolutely.
We need to recover a sense of citizenship.
The sinister cancel culture movement is trying to destroy history, and history is important. We have to know our history, and it has to be accurate history. So,
Absolutely.
Let me just a couple of essentials, like how is the organization funded?
It's funded through money from foundations and individuals.
Okay.
It's a 501c3. It's a nonprofit organization. It is non-sectarian, so it's not associated with any religious organization or any church or any. It's not a ministry, and it is bipartisan or nonpartisan, I should say. We are appealing to Democrats, Republicans, and Independents in the cause of an enlightened and thoughtful and patriotic citizenship.
That's good, since we are all Americans.
We're all Americans, and we all should be.
We stop dividing this country.
Absolutely, and we all should be good citizens, Bob, and we all should strive to understand better what that means. And especially our young people need to be taught, I think, what it means to be a responsible and enlightened and well-informed citizen.
That's where it all begins.
Absolutely.
The education of our young. Jack, how aware are people of civics and the history of this country?
Well, I think that our civics literacy is at an all-time low right now. It's at an abysmal low. Recent surveys showed that 33% of the people that were surveyed could not identify one branch of the federal government, not one branch. And only 27% were able to identify all three branches of government. A high percentage, over a third, between a third and 40%, couldn't identify one single right protected in the United States Constitution. So I think we are at an all-time low when it comes to civics and history literacy. And Freedom's Foundation is committed to changing that and to making our students and our adults aware of the history of this country and aware of our government and our form of government. And you know, we're located in Valley Forge, Bob, which is one of the most historic places in America.
Pennsylvania, right.
And when students come, we take them to Philadelphia, we take them to Independence Hall, we take them to Washington, D.C. We teach them about the founding of this country, and the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution and the Bill of Rights.
It's so sad that they don't know any more than they do. It says something about the education system, what has happened in our country. And one of a very important topic in that vein is critical race theory, being taught in schools across the country, and a big fight against that right now throughout the country. What do you think of that?
Well, it's a big struggle, and I think that Freedom's Foundation, I know that they are concerned because they want to see the history of this country taught accurately and in a thoughtful and balanced fashion. The fact is that America was not founded on slavery. That's false. It was founded on liberty. Now, slavery was, and it needs to be acknowledged, a great evil, a great sinister institution, as it was called at the time, a peculiar institution. And America struggled with slavery, but there is a silver lining.
So did every other country.
So did every other country, exactly, Bob, in the world. And while England abolished slavery sooner than we did, we fought a great civil war over the issue of slavery, and slavery was abolished with the 13th Amendment.
Did that?
Exactly. So I think there's a silver lining to the whole issue of slavery, and the silver lining is, as evil as it was, the United States did abolish it, and we paid a great price. Yeah. We paid the price of the Civil War in order to resolve that issue and to abolish slavery and to establish, through constitutional amendment, freedom and equality and justice for all our citizens, regardless of race, regardless of religion, and ultimately regardless of gender as well. But it took time. It didn't happen overnight. And I think it's not a sign of weakness, but a sign of greatness that the United States tackled the issue of slavery as it did. We all wished that we had not had a civil war, but there was no other way to resolve this. And we did resolve it. And we resolved it in favor of liberty and opportunity and justice. I think that's a pretty good sign of our greatness as a country.
I couldn't agree more. This country, it cost us a lot during the Civil War, including over 500,000 lives. And this the Freedom Foundation, this is all about teaching history, making teachers and students. This is teachers also that go for this education.
That's exactly right. Teachers are included.
And they should be imparting this to the students because history is that valuable. Let me get back to how would someone access the information? Would they go to the website to find out how to become part of this?
That's the best way, to go to our website, which is www.freedomsfoundation.org. That's freedoms with a plural, because there's more than one freedom.
Right, and I have that link in the written portion.
Freedomsfoundation.org, and if you go to that website, you will find information about how you can become involved, how your school and how your students and your teachers can become involved in the excellent programs that Freedom's Foundation sponsors and that it operates. I mean, the opportunity for young people to come to Valley Forge, where the Revolutionary War was so pivotal.
That's the best way to learn, right?
It's the best way to learn. We have a 75-acre campus, which is beautiful. We have statues. We have a grove that we have erected in honor of Medal of Freedom winners, recipients. There are very few of those who are still alive. And we honor those who have served our country in the military. That's another big part of what Freedom's Foundation does. We honor the men and women who have served our country in uniform. And because without them, there would be no freedom today. Without the sacrifice that was made and the lives that were laid down, we would not be living in a free country today. So we owe an awful lot to our veterans and to the people who have served our country. And Freedom's Foundation, a big part of what we do is honoring those.
And you need a foundation of history, because that is the platform for the future. Everybody has to have a knowledge of our history and not have it corrupted by fanatics that have taken over many areas of this country.
Yeah, critical race theory is taking ideology and ideological bias and distorting the facts of American history. That's why it's a bad idea, and should not be taught in our schools. What should be taught in our schools is the honest history of the United States.
Well, Jack, we are coming to the close on this. I'm getting the signals. By the way, is there some sort of diploma that comes after the?
Oh, yes, yes, they're given a diploma of completion and certificate, and they are honored. And not only that, but when the students return, we have local chapters all over the country who invite the students who have been to Valley Forge through our program to come to the local chapters and report on what they've learned and how the experience has transformed their lives. Because we don't just inform young people, we see their lives transformed. We don't just, educate, we inspire.
That's
And
correct.
I think that's an important part of what we do. I remember as a child myself being really interested in American history and our presidents, and I have my whole life really enjoyed the greatness of this country and really have appreciated it.
Well, I really think this is wonderful, we have to close now, but
Yes.
I want to thank you, Jack, for being here and for the great work your organization does.
Thank
It's a
you.
pleasure.
It's a pleasure always. Thank you
Good
very
seeing
much.
you, and thank you for watching.